So this is a continuation of the earlier lecture on screen stranger idealization. So on the left hand side we have the actual cross section, which is a box B, which is this is the actual cross section, which is a box B of the dimension H and L. The stringers are placed at different location on the box B. So stringers or spar, I mean the longitudinal member. So now what we have to do is that idealize this stringer actual cross section, this actual semi-monocoque cross section into an idealized cross section. The primary motivation is to make it simplified so that we can do easy calculation at the design level. So what do we do in idealized cross section? In idealized cross section, we place certain concentrated areas which are called booms, usually at the location of the stringers, and the entire area of the cross section is concentrated at these booms. So the total area of the concentration of the boom is going to represent the total area of cross section of the actual cross section. And the skin is considered to be of zero thickness, which practically means that we are neglecting the thickness of the skin portion. So the skin portion that is shown by these lines are assumed to be of negligible thickness or zero thickness. As this justifies with what I have just said, that the area of the cross section is actually concentrated at the booms. Now let Ixx, Iyy and Ixy be the sectional properties of the actual cross section, and Ixxa, Iyya and Ixya are the sectional property of the idealized cross section. Now, what is our job? So the questions that we need to solve, or the problem statement that we need to solve in this topic of screen stranger idealization is that you will be given a cross section with stringers and the skin, and you need to idealize with the boom skin configuration. Okay, so I miss saying that these are the stringers or spars or whatever. Okay, and this is the skin, right? And as a recap, I would also like to say that in the idealized cross section, we are going to consider only the booms are going to take the normal stress or direct stress arising due to the bending moment, and the skin is only going to take the shear stress due to the shear force and the torsion. Now the next question is that how do I find out the areas of the boom? So if I number each of these booms, say 1, 2 and so on, right? So so my next question is that how do I find out the area of this boom? So B1, so let me call this as B1, B2, B3, B4 and so on. So my next question is that what are the areas of B1, B2, B8? Okay, or how do I find out this area? So that is the question that we need to answer. So see, my job to obtain an idealized cross section from the actual cross section, the only thing that I need to do is to find out the areas of the boom. I have to find out the location of the boom and the areas of the boom. As far as the location goes, we say that the booms are usually placed at the location of the stringer. Okay, so now the only question that needs to be answered is what is the area of the booms. So I miss writing the dimension. So this will still be L, and this is going to be H. Right. So now comes how are we going to find out the area of the booms? So the answer to this is there is no single answer. I'm just going to give one answer. Okay. So one way of finding out the area of the boom is to first understand what is the predominant bending moment experienced by the cross section, and accordingly we have to choose the area of the booms which will give the highest accuracy in the sectional property corresponding to that moment. Okay, let me reiterate this. So suppose I have this cross section and the predominant moment, so predominant moment is mx, okay, or mx is much larger than my, say. So then what I'm going to do in this case, my Ixxa is going should be nearly equal to Ixx. Okay. So if right, so this is one of the philosophy which could be adopted to find out the areas of the boom. So right, so let us now go ahead with this philosophy and try to look further into the process of finding out the area of the boom. So suppose let me consider the web portion of the above cross section. So this is the web portion. So this has a certain length which is h. So this is so web of the above cross section. Okay, so it has a certain length h and a thickness t. So if I need to replace this by a skin stringer idealized case, okay, so this is the zero thickness skin. And this is boom 1, this is boom 2. Okay, so what I need to do is that so my philosophy is Ixx should be almost equal to Ixxa since mx is predominant. Okay, so what is Ixx? Ixx is going to be 1/12 T HQ. Okay, and area of the web, this web is what? T into H. Now what is Ixxa? So Ixxa is going to be, so let us consider that both the booms, so it is 2 area of the boom into h by 2 whole square. Okay, so that is by considering area of boom 1 is equal to area of boom 2 because the cross section is symmetric. Now, so I have to equate this two. So I have to equate this two. So this should be equated to this. So if I do so, I can say that 2a boom into h by 2 whole square should be equal to 1 by 12 TH If I calculate that, a boom is going to be 1 by 6 okay. So this is called the 1/6 rule. So uh, among the designers, this is called, or aircraft structural analysts, this is called 1/6 rule for vertical wave. So if I have a vertical web and I need to replace, idealize into a skin stringer configuration, then area of each of the boom, replace each of the two booms replacing the web is going to be 1/6 of A wave. Now let us look into the flange. So flange of the above cross section. Right, so let me draw the flange. So this dimension is L and this dimension is T. Okay, so if I say what is the IXX, IXX is going to be LT into H by 2 whole square, and area of flange is L into T. Now I have to idealize it as okay. So therefore IXXA is going to be 2 into area of boom into H by 2 whole square. Okay, so if I equate IXX, what do I get? I get LT H by 2 whole square which is going to give me a boom half of LT, which is half of area of flange. Okay, so this is called 1/2 rule for horizontal flange. Okay, so this thumb rule is that, so if I have a horizontal flange and I have to idealize with two booms, then area of each of the booms is going to be half of the area of the flange. Okay, so next is that the location, next is the stringer. Okay, the stringer at 1. Okay, so the area of the stringer at 1, area of the stringer is to be exactly equal to the area of the boom. Okay, so therefore the total area of the boom, what is, so total area of the boom, total area of boom 1, okay, is going to be 1 1/6 of area of web plus half area of flange plus the area of stringer located at the location of the boom. So this is the total area of boom 1. So area of boom 1, right? So if I follow this rule, so this is a widely acceptable procedure to find out the area of the boom located at a certain position on the cross section. But saying this, I should always put this disclaimer that there are other techniques for finding out the area of the boom at a certain location. So the location of the boom is usually at the location of the position of the stringer or spar. Okay, or I mean the position of the location of the reinforcement. But there are lots of different ideas about finding out the area of the boom. So what I have discussed now is just one of the method. So if you look into Maxent, there is another methodology given to find out the area of the boom, which we will discuss later. Okay, so you have to keep this in mind that though I have discussed this method of finding out the area of the boom by equating the sectional property of the actual cross section to that of the idealized cross section, but there could be other methods or other techniques to find out the approximated area of the boom. So usually an engineer use her discretion to find out the area of the boom, and she can adopt any of the methodology which suits best for the for that aircraft component which is being analyzed. So with this, let me solve an example based on the methodology that we have discussed now. So let me solve this example which will, let me clear the camera. So let me solve this example which will help us to understand the understand how to implement the method that we just discussed. Okay. So So I have this rectangular thin walled cross section. So this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. The thickness is uniform. Of 0.0 Okay, so this is the problem statement. So we have a rectangular thin walled semi-monocoque structure, okay, which could be a part of a beam cross section, sorry, part of a wing cross section. So the cross section has a uniform thickness of 0.05 millimeter. The dimensions are given as 8 millimeter and 48 millimeter, and there are four stringers located at the four corners given by location 1, 2, 3 and 4. The top two stringer has area of 0.5 millimeter square each, while the bottom two stringer have an area of 0.75 millimeter square each. So the question asks to idealize the cross section as a screen stringer model and find out the normal stress in boom located at 1 if mx is equal to 5 into 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeter and my is equal to 1 into 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeter. Okay, so as we have said earlier, okay, since mx is more than my, sufficiently more, and mx seems to be predominant moment, then I would try to equate ixx to ixxa. So my ixx should be all equated to ixxa since mx is greater than my. Okay, now how will the skin stranger, where will be the location of the, so where will be the location of the boom? So let me first draw it. So if I try to draw the cross section, idealized cross section, so I will place 4 booms at location 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is going to be boom 1, this is boom 2, boom 3, boom 4. So this cross section is symmetric about the y-axis but unsymmetric about x-axis. So because it has at least one axis of symmetry, ixy is equal to 0. And let me find out the location of the centroid. Okay, so if I find out the location of the centroid, then it is going to be, okay, so before finding out the location of the centroid, let me find out the areas of the boom. So this is going to be the idealized cross section. I don't know what is happening today with the Zoom thing. Anyway, so this is the idealized cross section. Okay, so area of boom 1 and excuse me. So boom 1 and boom 2, how do I find out this area? So area of boom 1, let me call it as B1, is going to be equal to boom 2, and that is going to be what? So it is going to be 1/6 of area of web plus 1/2 of area of flange plus area of the stringer. So if I calculate that, it is going to be 1/6 into 8 into 0.05 plus half into plus area of the stringer, which is 0.5. So if I calculate this, this is going to be equal to 1.767 millimeter square. So this is okay. Similarly, the area of B3 and B4. If I try to find that out, then I will have area of B3 should be equal to area of B4, and that should be equal to 1/6 of A web plus half of A flange plus area of the stringer. Okay, so the first two is going to remain same, which is going to be 1/6 into 8 into 0.505 plus half into 48 plus area of the stranger is 0.75. So if I calculate this, this is going to be equal to 2.017. Okay, so I now know the area of the boom. So this area is going to be equal to 1.767 millimeter square. This is going to be 1.767. This is 2.017. This is 2.017. Now let us, so the first thing is done. So the first part, answer to the first part is B1 equals to B2 equals to 1.767 and B3 is equal to B4 equals to 2.017. Right? Now let the second part of the problem. So the second part asks me to find out the stress at boom 1. So in order to find that, first let me write down the expression for direct stress sigma z. If you remember the expression, it is going to be, let me write it down. It is going to be my Okay, so this is the sigma z. So out of this, my Ixy is equal to 0. So this further simplifies and boils down to my by Iyy into x plus mx into y by Ixx. Okay, so so sigma B1 is going to be my x by Iyy of A plus mx y by Ixx A. So our job is to find out, so therefore our job is to find out Ixx A and Iyy A, right? So that is going to be our job. So before finding out Ixx A and Iyy A, we need to find out the centroid. Okay, the y coordinate of the centroid. So y bar from the top flange is going to be 2.017 into 2 into minus 8 whole square by okay, so which is going to be, so why did I put this square, so which is going to be minus 4.26 m. Okay, so let me just quickly draw this, which will help me to, so this is 48, this is 8 x y. This is y bar, which is 4.26, and I have booms, which is 1.764, and this is 2.017, 2.017, and 1.7. Therefore, Ixx A is going to be 2 into 1.764 into okay. So if I calculate this, it is going to come as 120.8. Okay. Similarly, Iyya is going to be 2 into okay. So that is going to be equal to 4359. Okay, so I have got Ixx and Iyy, so I have to now find out sigma B1, which is going to be 1 into 10 to the power 6, that is my, by Iyy is 4359, x is minus 24 plus 5 into 10 to the power 6 by 120.8 into y is 4.26. Okay, and that is going to give us the answer. I actually forgot to calculate this, so which you can do. Okay, so this is going to give me the answer. Okay, so what we have done, we have idealized the cross section, we have found out the location and area of the boom, we have also found out the stress that develops in boom 1, the approximated stress that develops in boom 1. Okay, so this approximated stress that we have calculated will help us in the design process. Though this value of stress is not accurate, but it gives a quite fair approximation or a quite fair idea of what the stress is going to be in the stringer 1. Okay, so or what is the stress that need to be carried or withstand by stringer 1. So but you can see the calculation that we have done to find out this approximate value or this approximate value of the stress is pretty straightforward and not at all cumbersome as we would have required if we solve the actual cross section. So this example perhaps cleared the idea that the clears the motivation behind doing a skin stringer idealization. So in the next lecture, we will talk about the procedure to find out the areas of the boom used in Maxent, and we will solve an example using that method. So thank you.